How do we get in touch with that? Because if someone comes up to me and says, James, I want you to be creative, I want you to be innovative, well, I just can't switch it on like that. So there needs to be a switch mechanism, there needs to be a code, there needs to be something that I can grasp, and it needs to be something that I can understand, that everybody else understands. And so I'm talking about play. I'm talking about play today in a very universal sense. I'm talking about it as an intelligence. The strange thing about that is that probably 15 years ago, if I came up to academics and said that play was an intelligence, I'd probably laughed out of the classroom or laughed out of the university. But a lot of things have happened in the last 15 years regarding research into play. I've developed a theory which says that play is intelligence. This is quite a shock for the intelligence community, so to speak. Those who have been researching play for the last 40, 50, maybe 70 years have looked at various researches into intelligence, and they're still not agreeing about what intelligence is. So I'm sticking my neck out. I'm saying that intelligence is play. I'm not saying that play is a form of intelligence, just like we have a musical intelligence, a logical intelligence, a very natural intelligence. These intelligences are various forms or various models of describing what intelligence is. But I'm looking at a meta process saying that what is the building blocks of intelligence. And so I'm arguing basically that play is intelligence. And what does that mean for our educational system, where we, as you heard the speeches today earlier, we need to become more creative and more innovative. Basically underneath that language, which we are investing millions and millions of US dollars into being more creative and innovative in the West, we are actually talking about the roots of that, which I call play intelligence. So in a sense, play has sneaked up on us. It's in for the educational world, it's a bit of a revolution to say that play is more than learning. That's what I do. I go around and give lectures, communicate to various universities and various professors around the world, saying that play is more than learning. This is a revolution for education, because it basically means that we need to put play in the center of education. But play, for the last 250 years, has been suppressed in the educational systems in the West, and it's not been accepted as an educational tool for learning. It may be something that's accepted for children in kindergarten. It's certainly something we as adults do not do. We have stopped playing, or have we? This is one of the things that I'm very interested in bringing to the forefront, that play is the root cause of how we learn as human beings. And without it, we're not going anywhere. We won't be able to survive the next few months, the next few years, if we don't learn how to play. And as an infant, this process and this mechanism, this human code, has been researched and has been documented, but it's been kind of buried in the human consciousness. It's been left on the peripheries, especially in the educational world, especially in the business world. But that's now about to change. And one of the things that I am arguing for is that communicating to the intelligence world that play is a meta model. I'm not describing play as a model, I'm describing it as a meta model, and the meta models create all models all forms of intelligence. For example, we're discussing intelligence, which I'm doing today. One of the things that you notice up here on my left, I've got these three models built out of Lego. These three models are the only concrete models in the world which demonstrate how intelligence works. They have never been created before. No researcher, no scientist has created a concrete model which shows how intelligence works. No scientist or researcher has ever created a concrete model which demonstrates how play works. I've just been a little bit creative and put these two together, and using the Lego meta models, which they are, to demonstrate the concept of play and the concept of intelligence in one simple, very unique model. If you take a look at the symbols that these models represent, if you put these three together, you have the IQ, the general factor by Spearman, which says fundamentally all people who have been, shall we say, measured in their intelligence are measured in their logic, which is number 2 represents they've been measured in their language, which is letter E represents, and they've been measured in their spatial ability, which is very simple. House demonstrates the play element. The remarkable thing about these models is that you can break them all down and rebuild another one. There are exact same numbers of pieces in each model. This is meta models. Meta models are completely simple. They're very difficult to understand because they're so simple. But once we understand them, then things fall into place. Lego has meta models. They don't have models. From meta models, you can create any model. This is the genius of Lego, and it's the genius of how our brain works, how our neurons connect together. They cluster together, but in their clustering, nothing is permanent, nothing is complete. This playroom here is changing all the time. And this is the play element that we have, in a sense, been born with and evolved with, to one of the most remarkable, sophisticated creatures on the earth, the play.